Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Algebra 2. Welcome again to room 15 where?
Learning never ends.
Even when we talk about, what was it, you lost a big ass fish, you said?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And I quote, this is Austin here. Those are his words, I promise. I don't think I'm gonna get banned or demonetized with Facebook over that.
No.
I think that's more of a
Facebook has
mild,
a lot of violence.
more of a mild profanity.
Yeah.
To kind of set us off to good humor this morning.
It's spelled $8,
Yeah, $8, very good. All right, very good.
It needs to be in the title, Mr. G.
Okay, yeah, good idea. If we post this video, it's yeah. So anyway, we're going to be talking today about this. First of all, this SAT problem today. This is one of those SAT problems today that is even easier than yesterday's. Remember yesterday's looked kind of like it was hard, but it was really easy when you looked at it. This one here, does anybody have an idea about how to do this problem?
Yeah.
What do you think it is? What's your idea?
You use the formula.
Which formula?
I don't know which one.
You know which one? There is a formula. So he's on to it right here. In fact, he knows where we're going today. Anybody know the formula? I have a hint. How about look over by Adam?
Who's that? Quadratic.
The quadratic formula.
I said that.
You said formula.
No, I said that. Quadratic.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So
Lizzie.
So you're really good. So Austin's really on it today. He's let us know about big ass fish, now quadratic formula.
It's
Man.
really focused.
Yeah, focus, man. Just on it.
That's good.
On it. Good job.
I
All
need a
right.
sticker for that, Mr. G.
Oh, for sure. Right. I'm gonna give you an assignment later on here, but paper assignment later. But what it is, there's a song for that. Did you know that?
Wait.
The quadratic formula song.
There.
So what I have here is that's part of what's today.
Yeah, I think we
Mr.
need
D,
to
you
sing
should
about
make a
that.
song about big ass fish.
Big ass. Okay. We'll get the song. That's a good idea. Hannah, was that your idea?
Yes.
Hannah,
She
okay.
needs a sticker for that.
Big ass fish. Okay, yeah. Good idea. Big ass fish. That'd
Who
be
said
good song.
that? I'm recording this.
Okay, I have the words here to help me, but the main thing here is the chorus that everybody's singing. It has to do, the chorus goes like this. Quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, and it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b times 4ac. Over 2a, over 2a, over 2a, over 2a. Okay, so we're going to start, and so you ought to be able to sing along with that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start the verse. I saw a man on the street with a parabola in his hand. He said, "Sir, please help me. I don't understand, and I've been having troubles. These parabolas are my fears." So I took out my notebook and I wiped away his tears with the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, and it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b times 4ac over 2a. Over 2a, over 2a, over 2a. Okay, now next verse here. Although I couldn't factor it, I attacked the equation fast. Did I plug in the coefficients? Bet your ass. If I could explain it, these problems down the drain. That's exactly when he stuck a knife into my brain. I exclaimed, "Why did you do this? Do you even care? Didn't I just help you? Didn't I complete your square?" No, actually I used the quadratic formula. the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula. The quadratic formula. And it's negative b plus or minus square root of b minus 4ac. Or 2a. 2a. Over 2a.
Over to
Now my life is over, I've seen all that I can see. Quadratics, cubics, quartics, quintates got the best of me. But as I lay here dying, a strange peace sets over me, knowing that upon my tombstone carved for all the world to see will be the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula. The quadratic formula, the quadratic formula, and it's negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, or 2a, or 2a, or 2a, or 2a. Quadratic formula.
That was really good.
So anyway, we're going to use the quadratic formula to solve this equation. So tell me, my fan of the big ass fish right here. Tell me what was it got your attention that made you think of the quadratic formula in that problem?
what?
What was it that got your attention about the quadratic formula here?
X equals a number.
Okay, x equals, that's a cute thing, that's a good thing. I want to tell you there's one other thing too.
It was at least 12x.
Yeah, and that's right. So the x equals is an important thing. Another thing that you look for that tells you it probably might be a quadratic formula is this plus or minus business. Because that's
It was
what
definitely plus.
Because you look over there on the quadratic formula, you see that plus or minus there?
Yeah.
So when you get to a quadratic formula, often it's going to be that. So anyway, that's what we have. So let's go ahead. Did anybody solve this yet? You had a son. You don't know who said they didn't know how to do it.
I got B.
Now, hey, okay.
I got B.
You got B. So let's go ahead. I'll show you how to do it.
I got C because one of the
C. Well, what happens is there shouldn't be a doubt here. There shouldn't be a doubt. So what it is, you factor out the greatest common factor. What's your greatest common factor here? Between
12x, 3x,
Nope.
2.
Nope. What's the greatest common factor?
12x,
Nope.
2.
Man, I need to go back and fire your Algebra 1 teacher. What's your...
She already got fired.
Mr. G, I think it's a carrot.
Algebra 1?
I think it's close.
Okay.
Fire her son.
Yeah.
X squared.
Yeah, you can get rid of Wesley.
Okay, look at what numbers in common, what number or letters in common to all this 3x? It's 3, thank you.
Did I get a sticker for that, Mr. T?
Yeah, and what happens is, and really, for him, it's because you didn't have Algebra 1 at this school, did you?
I took Algebra 1 my freshman year.
See, he had an Algebra 1 teacher who taught him about common factors.
And she
Your Algebra 1
was
teacher
there for
didn't
3
teach-
months because she got pregnant. She never came back.
Did your Algebra 1 teacher, everybody else, 2 years ago, talk about this? Should have.
I don't remember.
The only thing I remember is my
I've done a lot of sleeping.
I did too much playing.
That's true, okay. So let's go ahead and finish this off. But one reason I bring it up is that this is kind of where we're going on this thing right now. So anyway, you have the 0. What happens is when you go ahead and, did I factor that out properly? So it's what times x squared equals 3x squared, what times 4x equals 12x, what times 3 equals 6. See? So it's 3, right? So 3 is your factored out deal. And so what you can do is when you have it like this, you can rewrite it. You can rewrite the equation like this. Why can you rewrite the equation like this?
Makes it simpler.
Makes it simpler, but what property of mathematics allows you to do that?
Distribution.
kind of. What happens is, when you divide, if you divide both sides by 3, you have this canceled out, you got 0 over 3, so all this other stuff is equal to 0 too, right? So that's a little factoring technique. And so now, we have, this is not factorable, and we're going to be talking about factoring coincidentally here to the start of today a little bit. But here you have A is equal to 1, B is equal to 4, C is equal to 2, and now it should be pretty easy. So you should have X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A, right? And I did that from memory. I had that little song running in my head a little bit. There are other little devices that help you with that. So you take the negative B, and so it's going to be X is equal to negative 4, right? Because that's B. Plus or minus, you have the square root of negative 4 squared, that's going to be 16, right? Minus 4, and A is going to be 1, and C is going to be, what is it, 2? So you have all over 2A, and so you're going to have negative 2, right? So negative 2 already is what you have. Plus or minus, you're going to have the square root, that's going to be square root of 8 over 2. It's going to be square root of 8 plus or minus square root of 8 over 2, which is going to be, what's 8? 8 is equal to 4 times 2, and so square root of 4 is 2. So what you're going to have is you're going to have negative 2 plus or minus square root of square root of 2. A. So A is your right answer for that.
At least I contributed.
Yeah. Okay, so, but the one who contributed most today,
Was Austin with
All
his?
he did was talk about a big ass fish.
no, he did not. He talked about the quadratic formula, right?
And a big ass fish.
And a big, so he's really a huge contributor today.
I think he needs
He
2
gets all
stickers.
But anyway,
He definitely needs one for the big ass fish.
yeah.
He deserves a prize.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Stop.
So today,
No.
we're going to be addressing factoring,
Thank you.
kind of starting to talk about factoring, which is kind of the opposite direction we've been going. And so what I'm going to do is hand this out. And what it is, this one right here is kind of a mixed factoring array, 11 problems. And I want
11
you to,
problems. I think I don't need that assignment today since I contributed so
Yeah.
much.
what I want to do is I have to have a place on your assignment to give you
I think
extra
he should
credit.
do the first problem, Mr. G.
No.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is I want you just to work on this right here, just to do what you can. So this is going to be sort of a baseline test to see what you know for this.
What if I know?
So you blind? I get a dog straight. So I can't say anything.
Is Joel alive?
Yeah, my hair.
You gotta make a.
So I want you to do what you can on this today, and I'm gonna talk about briefly why factoring.
There you go.
helps us do.
I already forgot how to factor.
I did.
But then that's why you're here to learn, right? You're here to learn, learning never ends, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
learning never.
Mr. G, can you do 1 with us?
It's just today's.
I'm gonna show you why we're doing what we're doing. So, anyway, I wanted you to look, let's look at number 1 here. You have number 1 in front of you, right? So the first thing I want to go is I'm going to talk about why factoring. All right. So basically, there are 2 main reasons for factoring. One is if you have a quadratic equation like x squared plus 5x plus 4, let me put 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So that's one possibility. We're trying to solve a quadratic equation. And similarly, if we have a quadratic function that we try to graph, let's say f of x equals x squared plus 5x plus 4. And so being able to factor is going to help us do both of these things, to solve a quadratic equation and also to graph, and graph without a calculator quadratic equation. So that's the reason we do it. So let's go ahead and do the factoring of this. So right now I'm going to bring front and center our x squared plus 5x plus 4. And there are different techniques that are available to you, but one that we've done a lot in this class when we multiplied together is we used a box method. Remember doing that? So if we go ahead and set this up into a box, okay, what you do for this method here is you take your first term here and put it in the upper left box. And then the number term by itself, you put that in the lower right box. And then what you do is you're working backwards here. So instead of having x times x equals x squared, you look at x squared, and what are the factors of x squared?
1 and 2.
It's just X.
It's x and x. Those are the factors.
That's what I said. I said 2 x's.
Okay, all right. I didn't understand your meaning. All right. And then what are your factors of 4 going to be?
2x.
It could be.
It could be 2 and 2, and one thing you can do is experiment. So let's try 2 and 2. Well, if you try 2 and 2, you get 2x, 2x, so you get 4x, right? So this case, 2 and 2 is not going to work. So what other factors do you have that could possibly work? 1 and 4. So let's go ahead and try 1 and 4 instead. So we'll try 1 and 4. Here we get 4x, and we get 1x. So here we get our 5x, right?
Yeah.
So now we know that our factored form of this is going to be these. It's going to be x plus 1, and then x plus 4. Okay. So that's kind of how you look at it. If you lay it out in a box like that, most of these you can do somewhat that way. All right. Now, another thing you look for is our SAT problem of the day. You look for greatest common factors too. Like on the SAT problem of the day,
Oh, don't erase it.
this one right here, we factored out a 3 first. Remember that?
Yeah.
So look for that, because that's another thing you look to do. Now I'm going to show you how we can apply this factoring to solve this quadratic equation and to graph this quadratic function. Okay, so application. What we have is we have this x plus 1, x plus 4, and what happens is there's something in algebra called the zero factor property, which is anything times 0 equals 0. And so what we have is the equation can be solved if either x plus 1 equals 0 or x plus 4 is equal to 0. And so what is x equal to? X is equal to -1, and x is equal to -4. Okay? So we've used that to solve. So these are the solutions. So we'd say x is equal to, in set notation, we can put as -4, comma, -1. And so those are the solutions. So that's one reason we would use factoring to make solving quadratic equations easier. All right? Another thing is for graphing, and it's very similar to the reason for factoring. So let's go ahead and graph this function right here. So we have we already knew from factoring over here and solving, we know where the zeros are, right? At -1 and at -4. And also we have a y-intercept. What's our y-intercept here? Our y-intercept is 4. So here we have a y-intercept, and so we have a x squared. So what is the shape that's going to be graphed here? Somebody said a parabola over here. Somebody did over here.
I did.
No, somebody over here on the west side. Okay. So anyway, there's going to be a parabola, and this gives you your x-intercepts. So here are the x-intercepts, and we know it's going to be a parabola opening up and going through the x-intercepts, and then also going through the y-intercept like this. So yes, for solving an equation and for graphing, that's what the skill of factoring helps us to do. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and just do what you can on this sheet. And I'm going to go over, and so it's almost like a pre-test. And I'll give you, let's see, what time we get out of class here? 37?
36.
36. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take another 5 minutes to do what we can. Then we're going to go over most of these here just to show you. So this is just kind of introduction to factoring. And just see what you can do on this thing. You can talk to each other, whatever. And then we're going to be going over the next several days. We're going to be working more detail. We're going to drill down on factoring a lot more. How's that? Okay? All right, good. Thank you.
Sheesh. Are you turning the camera off, Mr. G?
Not yet. I want to go over these problems before I turn it off, or most of them, or each type of problem anyway.
Is this a grade?
It will be, yeah, when
When?
it's turned in. I don't know, sometime later this week. We'll go through all of them.
It would be a 5 and some 4 or 1 and some.
Thanks, Mr. G.
It would have to be a 5 and 5.
Let's see, who else?
No.
I gave the song idea. Not the big ass one.
I locked the door today, Mr. B.
I think I only deserve one, Mr. G.
What was that?
I think I only deserve one.
I do like the big ass fish idea in the song. That'll be helpful later on, I think.
Yeah, later on, but you don't need one right now.
So I got me thinking about that. Because I got the song Room 15, right? Have you heard me sing that one?
No.
Yeah, we heard him sing that.
15, yes.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
so
have.
what I'll do is what it is, it's going to have other verses to it. So you're working on this, right?
Yes, sir.
Working on this. Anybody get anything done on this?
Yeah.
Come on, push.
I got number 1.
May I go to the bathroom, Mr. G?
Who said that? See, that's a corporal punishment offense right there. Yeah, go ahead. I'll explain later. You go ahead.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
good.
How is it a corporal punishment though?
Yeah, I literally had to
You point at the bathroom.
point at the bathroom.
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you
Point
later.
at the bathroom, they will be like, yes, you can.
No.
You don't think you've ever getting woke last year? Maybe you're going around?
48. Going eastbound on 148 from Cranwell. But the cops there, they know my name by now. And went on green light, changes, raised the colors. I see the green and white obscuring
That wasn't.
Rosser High. I turn on my computers and I tune this old guitar. I'm the one I hear sing the Pink Slip Blues. Make sure I have my wheel of names and my graphics are all there. And I pray that I'll leave no child behind today. It's great to be alive in Wildcat Country. Singing where do I start my line? Down your circle, trick talked about his big ass fish. So yeah, that has promise, right? So that's going to be a verse. It's going to be a verse. So yeah, I'll give you some.
Okay.
But what it is, over the years, we're going to develop a verse like that. That's talking about about people. Who? What about driving?
I done totaled my truck this summer.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. John, he couldn't keep his cars from bar ditches. Or maybe he ran
He had a heavy foot,
into a tree.
I
He
actually
did
did.
run into
Oh, really?
He
Yeah,
had
I
a
just
belt
fell into
buckle.
a tree and did a box.
John got run into by a tree.
I wouldn't be driving, that tree wouldn't have meant to be there. Look at that
Tree. He was jaywalking. He just was in the middle of the street. Anyway, there are possibilities, right? But the main thing for a song like that is to be funny, right? So think about things you do. And so John, that's a good one. Austin, that's a good one. So we're off to a good start.
I deserve a sticker. Right, awesome.
Yeah. I think John deserves a sticker.
Stickers.
For totaling his truck.
It's because he had a heavy foot.
It wasn't his fault.
Actually, it
There was
was,
a turtle in the road and he swerved.
it was completely his fault.
It was the turtle's fault.
Yes.
So the turtle, so the insurance company
The
went
turtle.
charged the turtle.
Yes.
So the turtle had to pay the $20,000.
Yes. He swerved the turtle. We didn't want to kill the turtle.
Probation?
So the turtle was jaywalking. So
Yeah.
But the tree wasn't.
No.
That almost is like, have you heard me do the song,
Here, can I see those real quick?
the upside down?
Yeah.
You ever do
Deep thought.
the upside down? Ever heard that?
Yeah.
Didn't he pay us for that?
What?
The
There's nothing on it. I think you need to throw it away. Nope.
Upside down. I didn't do that?
You like the Stranger Things?
Officer, good evening. Allow me to, we'll go over some of these problems. So that's one type of problem. There are other things too. On 2, you look for a grade, what did you get for 2?
Nothing, I didn't do it.
What's your greatest common factor here?
5 and 10. Or no,
5.
3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 is not, because that's not, but it's 5. So you're gonna have 3x, and what times 5 equals 25? 5. So this one here is as far as you can go on the second one. Okay?
Okay, so that's what it is.
That's all it
Wait,
is.
go back. Can you put that up again? What you said?
Yeah.
That's the answer?
Yeah, that's the answer. Okay. This one here, this is a difference of squares method. When you were multiplying stuff together, you took these things plus, minus, square root 6 and 6. So this is our answer here, factoring for this one. Okay?
I got that right.
Yeah. So how many got that one right?
Me.
Yeah, several of you. Good job. And you learned that in Algebra 1, right?
No.
You didn't?
She never taught us anything. She just yelled at us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've yelled at you too, but I hope I've taught you something too.
You yelled at us?
Did I yell at you yet?
No,
Thought I had.
not yet.
You yelled at
Well, I
me,
should.
Mr. G.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I should. Yeah. This one here, you should get, I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. You get x, x, you're going to have a negative, so you need to have plus, minus. And what you're going to have minus 5 and plus 4. Okay, does that look right? Who got this one?
Me.
Not
did?
me. I'm so confused and lost.
But we'll have time to go over and show more detail on a lot of these. And we may not get to all of these today. Okay, here's one that's of a more complex nature.
Yeah, I didn't get this one.
Yeah, so this one here is, there are a couple different techniques for doing this, one of which is a box method. fact, I'm going to show you two different techniques for this one. One thing you can do.
2 goes in the top left, 5 goes in the bottom left.
Yeah,
And then
so.
the bottom right.
Yeah, so Austin is right about that. So you got 2x squared here
And then 5 goes
and
in.
negative 5. And so here, it's not going to be that hard because you have limited numbers of factors. So the only possibility you have is 2x and x, right?
Yes.
And then you're going to look for factors of negative 5, which are just going to be negative 5 times 1,
Yeah.
or negative 1 times 5.
But then
And you
how are
just-
you gonna get the 9?
You just try things out. So here's your negative 5 times 1. So you multiply these together, you get negative 5x. That and then we get 2x. And what that's going to be is
7, negative 7.
that's going to be that'll be negative 3x. So that's not going to work. We need the plus 9x.
5 and 4.
So let's go ahead and change the order here.
Actually,
I'm going to put negative 5 down here. Or I think it's going to be actually positive 5. And then negative 1 here. So this way, you have to do a little experimenting, but you can get to it usually okay. So here you get the 10x, and here you get the negative x. So here's where you're going to get 9x out of this deal. So your answer is going to be here, this 22x minus 1 times x plus 5. And there's another way of doing that that's called bottoms up that I'm going to talk about in another one. So, okay, was that too bad? How many did get this one right? Anybody get this one right? You got it right? So you must have had a better education. At Forney, were you at Forney?
Yeah.
At Forney, yeah. Forney had a better education than maybe your classmates did.
Wait, Austin, who did you have for your math teacher?
Miss Trent.
Okay, now back here, okay, this is going to be a difference of squares also. So what is this going to be here?
4x.
So 4x and 4x, right? And then you have the plus minus what?
Plus 5, minus
5. So how many got this one
Hold on,
right?
hold on, wait.
Okay. So so the scurry educated young man got this one right too.
I got it right too.
Well, I call you the Forney educated young man.
No.
And you're the Forney educated
Forney
too.
sucks.
Okay. All right. What? Well, you learned the quadratic formula there. You learned how to do some factoring.
It was a long.
But beyond that, so it must be beyond your Algebra 1
Ours 40
education.
I'll say.
You got what? Yeah.
Okay, and I think we'll do for this last one here, you should get, you're going to get x plus x minus. Why do I know it's x plus x minus?
Because you got a negative number in the back.
Yeah, I got a negative 30, so I know that. So two numbers add up, multiplied are 30, but add together 13. What are they going to be?
6, 7.
15 and 2, right?
Wow.
15 and 2. So plus 15 minus 2. Okay? So what it is, you get experience, and it's just, you get used to these kinds of things. And it's not so bad. So anyway, I think today, yeah, I think we're going to go work on this more tomorrow. And then go on and drill down on factoring techniques. Make sure you turn in your take-home test.
So like, are you gonna do that?
Appreciate that. I want to post this class video. There was a lot of.
Oh yeah, I gotta do the essay tonight. I forgot about that.
It's good.
It's not due